Good morning. Let me turn down my music just a little. There we go. Hey, you can tell, no sunglasses today. Yeah, it's really overcast this morning. Not very bright at all. You saw a little bit in the beginning, had the camera turned towards the road so you could see a little bit of my drive, and now you get me with no glasses. And I'm noticing this hair thing going on today. You know, every day it does whatever it wants. It's just kind of interesting. So I've been up bright and early this morning, got some, watched a show that I had recorded, got that done. I don't know, I woke up really early this morning, got the dishes, got to spend a little time with Bobby before I went to work, checked the chickens, gave them a treat of a crust of bread. They absolutely adored it. One of them just loves to eat out of my hand, which is really fun. One of them is really the one that's going to take flight, because every time I open up the coop, and I'll have to record a little bit of that so you can see it, but every time I open up the coop, which opens up, it sits up on the perch and eyes like, I'm going flying. And a couple times it's kind of gone to the edge, but because they're still baby chicks, they're not very old, they're not egg layers yet, but it's just testing out its wings, so I think it's really funny. But I will probably keep them their wings trimmed so that, you know, we don't have them take flight. And they're still in their small coop because they are babes, that I don't want them out yet, because I think they're too small and they would probably go through the fence, even though I am going to add more fencing to it so it's kind of double layered, so that nothing comes in and nothing goes out. The key for me is that nothing comes in. And like I said yesterday, that's the reason why I put it up in the first place, was to keep the dogs away. You know, they are chickens and they do skitter, so they're entertaining for the dogs, just like anything else that crosses the yard, whether it be a baby bird or a big bird or a hawk or a rabbit or anything else that kind of skitters, you know, gets the dog's attention. So they just want to check it out. So today is Wednesday, wonderful Wednesday. What day is it? Yeah, okay, yeah. Like I said yesterday, my kids would go crazy if they were in the car. And tomorrow night, my husband is coming into town. And I know that sounds crazy, your husband coming into town. But last June, my family went to North Carolina. That's where my in-laws live. Went to North Carolina at the end of June to spend the 4th of July with my in-laws, because the town they live in is called Southport, North Carolina. It is the greatest town, and they have a wonderful 4th of July festival that we've been going to for years. They have firemen's games and a big, huge parade and fireworks over the ocean. It's just fabulous. But anyway, last year when we were there, unfortunately, my mother-in-law passed away. However, she was 93. She lived a wonderful life, and her family was there, or we were there when she passed away. So my father-in-law has macular degeneration and is basically blind. So since June, my husband has actually lived there with my father-in-law and is taking care of him. My husband and his brother were both adopted, and my husband really feels that real tight kinship of, you know, that his parents gave him the opportunities in life, and that we always knew he would be the one that would take care of them. However, we didn't really think about the fact that we'd be living in two different states, me in Texas and him in North Carolina. But that's the way it is. So he's there, and he has gotten a job there, and he takes care of my father-in-law, who's 90 years old, turned 90 this year, and does all the great things for him. My husband has really become the cook, and I tease him and say, you know, why didn't you cook like that for us? You know, but he, excuse me, he didn't cook as much for us, but you know, we were a busy family at the time, so now it's just him and his dad, and he's really trying to get his dad to eat healthy, because I don't know how many of you have the opportunity to interact with your older parents, or people that are, of that age, 90, well, at the time they were 89 and 93. That's quite an age. And, for them, a meal was like a package of cheese and crackers, which we all know is not healthy at all for a meal. But, they get to an age where doing everything is really difficult. And with my father-in-law really not able to see the way that he needs to, doing the simple things of, cooking on the stove or little things like that, like, were really a challenge. But he was doing the best that he could to take care of my mother-in-law. And so now my husband is able to really, cook for him. He makes a lunch for him and puts it in the refrigerator to make sure that he gets a lunch. On the weekend, he makes sausage biscuits and puts them, individually wraps them and puts them in the freezer. So all my father-in-law needs to do is take them out in the morning, and he microwaves himself one, and he eats it, and then whatever my husband's left for lunch, sometimes it's a sandwich, because that's all he wants. Sometimes it's a sandwich, or sometimes it's leftovers. And so my father-in-law is his health has really returned to very good health. The doctor said it's like he's years younger the last time he went in for an appointment, and that's wonderful. And now that has nothing to do with his eyesight, which is, if you know anything about macular degeneration, it just, continues to get worse and worse. And I think that's the hardest thing. We've tried to encourage him to come to Texas, but he was born and raised in Southport, which at one time was called Smithville, and that's my father-in-law's last name, which means it's mine, Smith. So you can tell that there are roots there. As a matter of fact, I've gone on to Ancestry.com and have traced them back. It was so funny, because I asked my father-in-law one time, we were doing, before my mother-in-law passed, I got a lot of history from her, because she was born and raised in Dallas, which is amazing. Her father owned a butcher shop in Dallas. And anyway, so my father-in-law, when I asked him, so where are your people from? And he would say North Carolina. And I was like, no. Where are they from? Because, like, my family, if you ask where they're from, on my mom's side, they're from Ireland. On my dad's side, they're from Portugal. And so, that's what I connect to. Well, I asked my father-in-law, where are your people from? And he would just kept telling me, North Carolina. And all the research that I've done, I've gone back into the early 1800s, and they're still in North Carolina. I have not found a connection that goes outside of North Carolina on either his mother's or his father's side. And I find that so fascinating. So obviously there is some, it goes back someplace, because North Carolina hasn't been the Mecca of the world. It's not where the world started. So my research, I'm just going to have to continue and find, keep going and see how far back I can go. Very, very interesting. I can't wait to see where it really leads. Somebody said I should just look at, like, the original settlers in North Carolina, and I guess I could do that. As a matter of fact, we are going. I'm going to take my son, and we're going to go for the 4th of July this year. And my daughter and her husband and her kids, so my grandkids, they're supposed to be driving there too. So I hope this year, we will have memories of Betty, but they'll be good memories. We'll celebrate the good memories and not the events of last year, which kind of did put a damper on the whole 4th of July celebration. The only thing that was very interesting is that last year, my father-in-law, really, to get his mind off of losing Betty, he did do things with us last year. He went to the parade with us, and even though we were real concerned because the heat and an 89-year-old man, But he also, which was very fabulous, and I have some pictures of it, he went to the fireworks with us. And at the time, my daughter was just pregnant, and she had my grandson, and so my father-in-law, I have pictures of him and his great-grandson together. And I think, again, sorry about my voice, I think that was fabulous. That was an opportunity that we got. And I don't know what his mood will be like this year because, it's a year of mourning that he's been in. And some days, as my husband says, some days are good and some days are not so good. But when you've been married to somebody for so long, as he and Betty had been, and, shared a life together, it's not something that you get over that quickly. And a little bit about their life, which is very interesting, is that he was a cameraman and worked in the Dallas-Fort Worth area for the TV stations, radio stations, early on TV stations. He told us stories which were really funny that we had never heard before about how they met. He said that he and his buddy had come to Dallas and were doing work or whatever, doing wires, pulling wires at the time. And his buddy said, hey, let's go to this dance club. And they went to this dance club, and he said, I saw the most beautiful girl and asked her to dance. And he said, I danced with her all night long. Then at the end of the night, he said, can I go dancing with you again? And she said, only if you take lessons. And he told us that he spent the next, it was either 3 or 6 weeks, going to the Arthur Murray School of Dance so that he could learn to dance and go back out with this love of his life, who eventually became his wife. And we thought that was the cutest story. And he told us that they used to travel all over the state of Texas, going to different dance clubs and different dancing things. And that was such a great story to tell, because my kids remember my mother-in-law as really having struggles walking at times because her knees were so bad. And now I think about, all the years that she was able to dance. And I'm sure that brought her great joy. So anyway, thought I'd share a little bit with you on my drive to work this morning. And like I said, maybe I'll get to add a little bit of during my day, or a little bit on the drive home, or a little bit when I'll try to show you the chicken coop. Oh my gosh, there's a truck pulling a truck. Did you see it go by? You might have. It was over here. I never know what you can see and what you can't see because how fast it travels. But anyway, have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon. Love you. Bye. Hey, I'm back. Survived another day of work, driving on my way home. It is a beautiful 88 degrees. The overcast is gone. It's just white puffy clouds out there right now. Today at work was pretty productive. It was very interesting. Also, we got our state standardized test scores back, and one of the facilitators is like very high strung when it comes to the results. Have you looked at your results? Have you looked at your results? Do you know what's going on? And I'm like, no, that's low on my totem pole. I'm not looking at it. What do you mean it's low on your totem pole? It has to be first thing. No, I'm not taking care of that right now. I got other things to do. So I started working on that. I also taught two of the facilitators how to start using Google Hangouts Live or on air, so that they could do perhaps flips with their teachers or their professional development that they do. Also talked a little bit about Screencast-O-Matic, because I use that a lot when I'm teaching different content in the math world. Really works out good for me. But sometimes when I'm also trying to get content out to the teachers, I'll just use a regular handheld whiteboard and do it in the flip style with them. But when I'm teaching something that's on the computer, I definitely try to use Screencast-O-Matic because it seems to work really easy for me. And there is a free version, but there's also a paid version that's really cheap for a year to use it. So I like doing that. I talked to my daughter today and my grandson. We got on FaceTime and he was showing me. He said, "Look, Nana, a dodecahedron." Okay, he's not even 3 and he's trying to identify a dodecahedron. It cracked me up. It was so funny. I was like so excited in the math world that, he's really interested in that. But, kudos to my daughter. She has had the luxury of being a stay-at-home mom, and it's fabulous because she really is able to give those kids some experiences that because I was a working mom, I wasn't able to do. So, she really gets out there and is very active with them. I was just talking to her, and it was really funny because both of her kids are taking a nap, so she's even got that down. She's got a almost 3-year-old and an almost 1-year-old taking their nap at the same time. How fabulous is that? I'm stuck. There's a school bus just sitting there, and I can't figure out what it's doing. Maybe it's not a school bus. Maybe there's traffic ahead of that. Ay, traffic. That's wrong. Anyway, so also got some teachers together. We're going to do some curriculum writing this summer, and the district may be paying for it. I'm kind of excited about that because it's been since I started there when they took that away, and so it's really hard to get people in unless we did it with subs, and our deputy superintendent just doesn't want them being pulled out of their classes. So, and I can't blame them for that, and the teachers really don't like that either, because it takes a lot of work to have a sub in your class. You have to plan for the sub and get all the other things together that normally just works with the flow of the class. So, sorry. Woo! That was a good yawn. Sorry. Worked hard today, I guess. So I got that together. Started planning all of those days and started looking at the professional development that I'm doing. Also, we're doing some conferences, presenting at some different conferences, so I've been working on that. You notice right now I can look directly at you because traffic is not moving at all. Can't figure this out because I can't really see around the cars in front of me what's going on, but there's 2 school buses ahead of me and at least 2 school buses behind me and a whole bunch of cars in the meantime. I don't know, maybe it was construction. Oh, it must have been. I see a truck coming our way and now we're moving just a little bit. Yeah, that must have been it. So anyway, it's Wednesday, made it halfway during the week, through the week, but I'm excited because tomorrow's going to be my last day of the week. Dan's coming into town, and I am taking Friday off. Yahoo for me. And it's a long weekend because it's Memorial Day weekend. So that'll be good. The other thing I thought, I know this morning I talked a little bit about showing you my chickens. I also use a personal Malden Filofax for my planning. And I also have a Midori Traveler's Notebook that I use for taking notes. I use bullet journaling for that. I do the photo a day, and I also do the 365-30 journal prompts a day. So maybe sometime in the future I will give you a little tour of those. I actually have, I think on my videos, if you look at them, I do have one where I made a Midori. One of my friends that used to work with us, she's a beautiful woman, her name is Mary. She's actually a miracle because she survived a brain bleed hemorrhage that no one else would have survived. Her surgeon, obviously their hands were guided because he was able to do something miraculous, and she was able to come all the way back from that. Anyway, make a long story short, she saw my Midori video and saw my Midori, and so I made her one. I bought some leather at Tandy Leather. As a matter of fact, I still have it hanging in my closet. My son laughs. He's like, why is there leather hanging in your closet? And it's just, I saw this purple color and I thought, oh, that's a beautiful color. But I made one with it and I'm not really sure how I feel about it because it's too, to me, it's too thin. It doesn't have enough body to it. But it may be. I mean, it may be perfect for other people. So I was thinking about putting some together and maybe making some. I laughed at myself when I really thought, oh, I could do it this summer. And then really, okay, I don't have summer off like I used to as a classroom teacher. So I guess I missed that. And like I said, we'll see what the future brings and if I get that back. So, you know, you never know. Is it worth it to work the extra days? Sometimes I don't know. I'm not sure if all of our days are useful days. Because when the teachers are in the classroom, if we're not able to get out there and make an impact in the classroom, then I'm not quite sure what our job is. I really thought that, seriously, when I got hired on as a facilitator, I really thought that's what my job would be, is that I would be in there, you know, observing teachers, watching teachers, coaching teachers, working on the content, that the curriculum was something separate. But it's really become the curriculum piece. I know it's called curriculum and instruction, but I guess my brain was more on the instruction side than the curriculum side. And it feels like, now it could just be the circumstances, but it feels like the past, you know, 4 years have been on the curriculum side, not on the instruction side. And that's, you know, to me, that's a disconnect. I would love to have some coaches under me that, you know, I could train up and send out to the classroom. But right now, with the financial insecurity of the district or the financial challenges of the district, I can't see that happening anytime. So, like I said, you know, God, it's in God's hands. Whatever is going to happen is going to happen. If I'm here next year, I'm here next year. If I'm somewhere new next year, then I'll be at somewhere new. So, I'm a worker. What else can I say? I mean, I would love to be an assistant principal and make an impact on a campus, be able to bring my knowledge and to partner with a principal and really get, you know, the training to be a building principal and then eventually do that. But if that's not the path that I'm supposed to go, then I'd like to have more of an impact of what's happening in a classroom. And that might mean that I have to go back into a classroom. But like I said, I've done my part, put out my resume, put out my applications in different places, let the word be known, and, you know, we'll see what happens after that. So, I'm not even halfway home since I was stuck in that traffic. But I am on my way. So, I may give you a little video clip later on of the baby chicks and let you see them. And if not, well, then it may be goodbye for today. All right, see ya. Love ya. Heidi-ho. Yep, I'm not driving right now, as you can tell. But as I said earlier, I was going to share with you my chickens. They're so cute. All right, so some of you are going to go, no, they're not really cute. But they are to me. When you raise them as chicks, they're really cute. So let me see if I can turn this around. Hold on. There's my chick. See? They all think I'm going to give them food. That's why they're all over here. Chicks, get off your water. That's not your perch. Hey, get down. Get down. Thank you. See? Aren't they cute? Chicks. I call them a half dozen. Chicks. Look at that. They stand on that water thing and poop. They're chickens. They're dumb. Anyway. Alright, I gotta go mow the grass, so I thought I'd just show you my chicks. See, yesterday I mowed half my grass, so today I have to mow the rest. You can hear my big dogs here. That's D. And over here, that's J. Those are my big outside dogs. And over there, guarding the chickens, because she thinks she's a chicken dog, that's Rosie. Alright, Gotta mow. Bye.